Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, I'm Rani Andriani. My ID number is 18212269. I'm from class B, and this presentation is referred to language assessment subject. And here I'd like to continue the materials about how do we assess with the subchapter classroom assessment tools and procedures. And I'll share the previous materials link in the description. Alright, in the previous videos, in my friend's videos, we have examined about the internal classroom assessment and then the external classroom assessment. Then we have examined the overall assessment plans that teachers employed with their students in the classroom. And clearly, tests are only one of the many assessment tools that teachers can use in the classroom. Talking about classroom assessment tools, so there are some functions of classroom assessment tools. The first one is support students' learning. These functions could be achieved when the tools give the students clear ideas about what is important to learn and the criteria or expectations for good work, and when the assessment is aligned with or matches instruction. The second is help teachers to determine the best method. These functions could be achieved when the teachers can explore the assessment tools, and after that the teachers can determine the best method to use in the classroom to help students and teachers to achieve the learning goal. And then the teachers also can use the various methods to support all the students. Next is enhance the validity and the reliability of our assessment practices. And these functions could be achieved when there is a combined use of assessment tools of perceptive and productive language skill, and then language component, and direct and indirect assessment of skills. The last is classroom assessment tools can help in completing activity. Next, materials is about categorizing assessment method. There are so many types that we can use to categorize assessment method. For example, we could use questions or item types. So the first types of questions is open-ended or surprise questions. This types requires students to provide extended responses. For example, is short answer questions, oral presentations, and others, etc. Next is selections questions. This type requires students to select an answer from a number of different options. It's like when we ask students to fill the multiple choice questions, true or false questions, and etc. And then the third is student-centered assessment. These types of questions require students' participations and decision-making in ongoing assessment practices. So, for example, when we ask students to make self-assessment, portfolio, etc. Alright, next categories is from the observations, conversations, or products. The first one is teacher-students conversations. So in these types, there is a collaborations activity between teachers and students. It could be like interviews, whole class discussions, class meeting, and etc. The second is observations. So in these types, the students more do the observations to observe the students. It could be in group discussions, independent work, rehearsals, daily work, and etc. And then the third is students' projects. This types is referred to what students show, what students do in the classroom. It could be the performance and presentations, tasks, portfolios, artwork, and etc. There are three categories of assessment that education literatures have been identified. The first one is teacher-made assessment method, and this type of assessment method is referred to this assessment method that designed and administered by teachers to their students. So teachers made by their own self to make and design assessment method, the assessment and next is students conducted assessment method. In this method, the students are directly involved in the assessment process. The third is standardized testing in reading, writing, and speaking and listening. So we have talked about the assessment tools, the functions of assessment tools, and then the categories of assessment tools. So in the last sections, I'd like to remind us as the teachers that we have to recognize that the more our assessment practice directly involves our students, the greater the probability that our students will develop increased awareness of their learning progress and take responsibility for their learning. So when we want to make the assessment, it could be better if we involve the students in the assessment process, so it will make the students more feel like take responsibility for the learning process. Alhamdulillah, I think that's all for my presentation. I'm so sorry if there are so many mistakes that I've done, and I really thank for your kind attentions for watching this video. If you have any suggestion, comment, or question, please texting me on the comment column, and then you can also texting me on class group. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Stay healthy, guys.